Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto was trained by the greatest at a young age. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was given a gift that will change everything on this channel, and enjoy that guys. And I also post a new episode over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto had a new dream that will change everything. So go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, let's get straight into this new episode. Start the intro. So the last time we left off, as Naruto had his birthday party, as everyone came by to wish him a happy birthday, as Natty gave him a wonderful gift, as she was going to name him as her successor. So when time is right, he will indeed inherit the title of Hokage, as Naruto was delighted to hear that. As Sasuke's uncle came by and told Sasuke about this, as they had a long gruesome council meeting about it after all. Sasuke was furious as he brought up the idea of killing Naruto, but his uncle asked him if he was crazy, as he told Sasuke to never mention something like that ever again, as he knew that the Hokage would back Naruto, the Hyuga clan, and also get the backing of the Namikaze clan, so that would be quite bad on the Uchihas. But Sasuke decided to take things in his own hands, as he wrote a note and left for his mother. Sasuke called Sakura to her house as she met up with him at the training field, as he told her that he loved her. She was surprised and so happy and delighted to hear that, as she finally heard those words from him, as she was excited, as Sasuke told her that he was sorry, as she didn't know that it was coming. So when he snapped her neck in a brutal fashion, it was sudden, as Sakura's body collapsed to the ground. As Sasuke stood there unmoving for a while, he just stood there, taking in what he just did, until his eyes felt a jolt, as they changed. Yes, as he unlocked his Mangekyo Sharingan, as he looked at his hands. A phone call was made towards Naruto for him to show up at a training ground, as Ibiki, the head of the Envu, had called him. As Naruto made his way there, arriving there, he saw Ibiki, as he could tell right away the illusion Sasuke had on the hinge. As Sasuke came out of it, as Naruto wondered if this was one of those idiotic spars that Sasuke always wanted to challenge him to, but he hadn't done that in a long while, so this was kind of surprising to Naruto. But this was different, as Sasuke insulted his mother, as Naruto told him to watch his mouth. It quickly escalated where the both of them started to clash, as Sasuke had acquired his Mangekyo Sharingan with the ability that allowed him to make movements towards him move rather slow. It was like he was moving at normal speed, but everything else was moving slow when you got close to him. As he managed to knock Naruto back by this a few times, he pinned Naruto to a tree and ignited Naruto with flames. Naruto got crazy as the Kyuubi influence took over, as he raged, coming out of it with four tails, skin melting off his bones. He attacked Sasuke with no compassion. Sasuke messed up badly, as he didn't stand a chance. As he went to the woods, as Naruto chased after him, as Sasuke was descended upon by Naruto, as Naruto ripped and tore. Everyone made their way after sensing the fox chakra, as Kushina rushed forward despite the danger, and she told Naruto to calm down along with Hinata, as he nodded, as his body returned back to normal. Tsunade had a meeting with the council right after that, as they wanted to know what would happen to the Kyuubi brat. After all, things like this, if it escalated too far, it will only get worse. Jiraiya had already made a proposition to Tsunade to bring Naruto on a training trip, which she said no about, but now she had to agree with it. So she did, as Kushina had pleaded with her not to send Naruto away, but she knew that she didn't have any other choice. As Naruto woke up, as they explained this to him, as he couldn't believe it, but it was the only way, as he wanted to do one thing first, as Hinata was confused and her father seemed rather chippy as he went outside as something was going on. As Naruto was there, as he asked for Hinata's hand in marriage, she was delighted and so happy, but she was also saddened to hear that he would be leaving the village. But she was happy they were going to get married, as he gave her the ring, but it was too big for her finger, as she told him that she would wear it on her neck until she could fit it. As Hayashi gave him his blessing 100%. So yeah guys, was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the page and check it out for yourself. So, what's to begin this new episode? An envoy captain stood in front of her in her office. You want to see me, Hokage-sama? Yes, I did. Please remove your mask, Tenzo. He nodded as he did. I have a very special mission for you. One that only you can perform. One that I'm afraid will take you away from this village for years. He bowed to her, Hokage-sama. All envoys are the weapons of the Hokage. Whatever mission you feel I need it for, I will accept and perform at the best of my abilities. I don't doubt it. Were you present for the events that took place 2 days ago in the Forest of Death? Yes, he said. If things had ended differently, I would have ordered you to use your Mokiton to suppress the Kyuubi chakra, as you are the only one to be blessed with my grandfather's ability. You are the only one that can deal with the unexpected emergency. Naruto and Mikaze will be traveling with Jiraiya and another for 2.5 years. You are to accompany them. Your mission is to protect Naruto and, if necessary, suppress the Kyuubi chakra. He nodded. I understand. Since you will be away from the village for such a long time, you won't be acting as envoy. You will be assigned as a regular jonin. I'm Ishinu, the cover name as Yamato for the mission. Yamato, he said as he mulled it over. I like it. Any questions, she asked. No, Hokage-sama, he said. You're dismissed. You'll be leaving tomorrow morning at 8. A party was the last minute thing. Snad decided to keep Naruto's departure quiet. He would leave, and people would know later on. So only a few people were invited, those who Naruto really cared for, and was going to say goodbye to. I can't believe you're going to be away for that long, said Kiba, as Akamaru barked on top of his head. It's not like I really want to go, but everyone thinks for the best, said Naruto. Kiba looked around, as he then pulled out a flask and unsealed the top. Hey, have a drink with me. We'll celebrate your engagement and wish for a safe journey. As Naruto shook his head and took the flask. You trying to corrupt me? He asked. Hey, it's a special occasion. Now hurry up, before your mom spots us. Naruto laughed and took a quick drink. Oh, that's nasty, he said. Kiba took a drink. Yuck, it really is. As Naruto laughed, I'm gonna miss you, Kiba, he said. Moments later, here, Kakashi, as he handed Naruto a familiar orange book. As he looked around for Tsunade or Kushina. A journey is always better when you have good reading material. Everyone is trying to corrupt me tonight, said Naruto, as he took the book and hid it. You know I don't like to read this stuff, he said. Kakashi shrugged. You're getting older. Maybe it will grow on you, he said, as he then gave Naruto a serious look. Listen, Naruto, there's something I want to tell you before you go. I don't normally say this, but I want you to know I'm very proud of you. You're the best of the brother, and best teammate anyone could ask for. I know that if Sensei was alive, he would be just as proud as you, as I am. With a smile, he gave Kakashi a big hug. Thanks, big brother. No one could ever ask for a better brother, or a Sensei. Moments later, but why? Why do you have to go, brother? Asked Alisa. Because I'm a ninja, he said, and this is a mission, as he stooped down in front of her. But I thought the Hokage liked you. Why is she sending you away for that long? As he smiled at her sadly. Sister, he said, you know I'm the Kyuubi container. This mission has something to do with that. She looked up at him sadly, but she kind of understood a bit. As in the short time they have got to know each other, she thinks the world of him. I'm gonna really miss you, she said. I'll miss you too. And I promise I'll play with you when I come back, he said. Can I bring you here again, she asked with a smile. We'll see, he said. Moments later, checkmate. Did you let me win, Naruto asked. Maybe, said Shikamaru. So you and Hinata are really engaged? Yeah, we sure are, said Naruto. As Shikamaru smirked, worried that someone might take her place. Nah, I just realized. There was no one else I'll ever love as her, and no one I want to spend the rest of my life with. I just wanted to be official before I left. I want her to know that I was ready to make a lifelong commitment to her. You know, you let her have too much control over you, said Shikamaru. Man, it's troublesome when you let a woman have that too much power. As Temaru then came over. Come on, Lazy, I like this song. Let's dance. But now, she said, as she pulled him to his feet and dragged him to the dance floor. As Naruto started to chuckle. As Naruto made his way over as Lee sat by himself. He had came to say goodbye to his friend, but he did not feel like celebrating. Sakura funeral was this morning. I'm sorry, Lee, said Naruto. I knew what she meant to you. Lee gave Naruto a bow. Naruto-san, you avenged her death, and for that I thank you. For that and much more, I'll always be in your debt. But if you do not mind, I think I'll go home now. Sure, said Naruto. I truly believe that time will help. Time really does heal our wounds. But sometimes, scars remain, he thought to himself. Thank you, Naruto-san. I wish you a safe journey and return safely, as he made his way home. As time passed, as Saisho and Kushina watched the newly engaged couple dance. How can I be so happy and sad at the same time? Asked Kushina. I believe it's called being a parent, said Saisho. Thank you again, uncle, for agreeing to accompany him, she said. It is both my pleasure and my honor. I will protect him with my life. He's my little boy. It's hard to believe that I will see him when he's 15, and he will be married not long after that. Given what our life are, ninjas should marry as soon as possible, said Saisho. Hinata's birthday is December 27. They would likely marry the following spring. Well, at least there will be plenty of time to plan the wedding. As they watch in silence as Hinata and Naruto dance together, oblivious to everything else but one another. As he heard his niece mutter something under her breath. I'm sorry. I said it's not fair. Naruto has suffered hatred for something that was never his fault. He alone has bear a terrible burden. And he still, despite that, loved Konoha. His love for the people and Konoha has never wavered before. He has fought for them, killed for them, risked everything for them. And how do they thank him? They force him to leave. It's not fair. Well, it's not, but the world is really fair. Especially to we who are ninjas. You know this, take the joy you can, and try to leave the sorrow behind. Enjoy the sunlight while you can, before night comes. She nodded as she knew, for ninjas especially, the night could come with quick swiftness. Time skip, it was late, and all visitors had gone home. Except for one, as Hinata would be staying in the guest room at Namikaze. She wanted to spend as much time as possible with Naruto. Though it was dark out and a bit cold, they were on their favorite spot, a bench, sitting out watching the stars, as she was snuggled up against his chest. I'll miss you, she said. I'll miss you too, he says. He kissed her. Time skip, it was 8 AM. Jiraiya, Naruto, Saisho, they were packed and ready to leave. Only Tsunade, Kushina, and Hinata were there to see them go. Everyone already said their goodbye. You better keep your promise, you old pervert, said Tsunade. Oh, and what promise is that? I've been known to make a lot of promises to a lot of women, he said. She crossed her arms. You said if I agreed to let him be, apprentice you will stop that vile research while you're with him. I did say that, he said. But you said no, until the council basically forced you to— Ow, 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 ow! Let go of my ear, you crazy harpy! You will listen to me, you dried up prune of a man. If my godson come back here and start to peep in the bathhouses, I will find you, and snap every bone in your body, heal you, and snap them again. Do you understand me, you annoying pervert, she said, as she released his ear. Yeah, got it, he said. There are millions of beautiful women in this world, yet I have to fall in love with her. Damn it. He thought to himself. Goodbye, Naruto-kun. Write to me whenever you can, Kushina said. She hugged her son. I will, I promise, Mom, he said. I'll write to you as well, Hinata, he said. You better, she said, as she hugged him and gave him a last kiss. I'll be here waiting for you, he said. Good, because you know I'll be coming back. It's time, kid, said Jiraiya. With a last wave, Naruto turned and made his way out of the village. As he turned back once and smiled at all of them. As the three of them smiled, they didn't want to cry. They wanted his last image of home for a while to be the three of them smiling him off. Time skip. Am I in trouble? Gabriella asked. Her father had called her to his studies, and 5 other Uchihas were in there, the elders of the clan. Far from it, my daughter, he said. The elders have come here to confirm my decision. With Sasuke's tragic loss, we're here to confirm you, my daughter, to be the heir of the clan. Upon my stepping down, you'll be the head of the Uchiha. That had been last night. This morning she was heading out. She shook her head as she wondered if it really happened. She was clan heir. She held the same title her 2 genius cousins once held. Her, the failure, the one who got booted by 2 teams and was given upon by her clan. Now suddenly she was a golden child and hope for the future. If I'm the hope of the future, we're so screwed. Her dream was to earn her father and her clan respect, which she had done. A lead in the clan that never crossed her mind, not at all. As she walked down the street, people either noticed her or recognized the clan symbol on the back of her jacket. They glared at her and muttered. A couple old women even spat in her direction. She shook her head. Life could be truly bizarre. A few months ago, these people would have looked at her with respect because she was a Uchiha. A few months ago, her father and her clan refused to recognize her. Now her family adore her and the public allowed her. But then, they hated all Uchihas at the moment, did they? That of course was what happened 5 days ago. What happened? The assassination attempt on Naruto was not what made people hate her clan. As a people had let that pass like it was not really important. It was because he was a Kyuubi Jinjulke, and also he was a clan heir as well. One clan here wanting to kill another clan here was not all that much problematic. Somehow they saw it that way. But the thing was, it was Sakura fate that angered the citizens. Haruno was a relatively new family and had no connection to any of the clans. To the citizens, Sakura was one of them, ordinary person, even though she was a kunoichi, as it was known that she was Sasuke's girlfriend for years now, and she was devoted to him. The fact that Sasuke could be so cold-blooded to murder her, people started to wonder if something was wrong with the entire clan. As her father went to the Hokage and asked her to make everything quiet, according to him, the Hokage took a childlike pleasure in refusing his request and saying that everything would be made public. Gabriella was sure that was payback for making Naruto leave in. If Naruto had to suffer what happened, she would make sure the Uchiha suffer as well. That was how it looked to her dad, and she had to admit, it looked that way to her as well. As she sighed. Also, after what happened, she requested some time off, and Kushina had agreed. But this month she received instructions to meet her team at the park. Her father told her that Naruto left the village on training with Jiraiya of the Sannin. It hardly seemed like a punishment, but it was. Tsunade had to do it to avoid something more tragic. And now she had to face her sensei, knowing that her son was nearly killed by her cousin, and also her new clan status. Gabriella thought the world of Kushina and she didn't want anyone else to be her teacher and role model, but she was very worried what Kushina would think of her. At the moment, Team 7 was inactive for the time being, as Kakashi had taken up Kiba as apprentice, and Hinata was currently being trained by the Hokage herself, as she wanted to be strong in order to get back, including Kiba as he wanted to be strong as well. As Gabriella met up with her team at the pond, as she saw the both of them smile at her. Gabriella, how have you been, Haku? Oh, I'm just fine, Haku, she said. As he stood in front of her, I'm happy to see you, he said, as her cheeks got a bit red, as he looked a bit awkward in front of her. As she moved forward and held him, he still isn't used to physical affection, as his arms remained at his side. You know, if you want to hug me back, I promise I won't break. He hesitated a bit, but he put his arms around her, as she thought it felt wonderful. Kushina gave them a moment for speaking. How are you feeling, Gabriella? Pulling away from Haku, she looked at her sensei. Kushina sensei, I'm fine. You look nervous, said Kushina. Are you worried that I'm upset with you for the things that Sasuke did? As Gabriella looked down, as she felt a hand placed on her shoulder. Do you really think so little of me? Do you really believe I'll let my anger out on you? Well, if you wanted to, I couldn't blame you, she said. Not after what happened. Did you know what Sasuke was planning to do? Of course not. I would have reported him to Hokage right away. Then why should I blame you? You're my student, Gabriella. And I'll watch out for you and make sure that you're safe no matter what. I will always do the best for you. Thank you, Sensei, said Gabriella. Now come on, I want to get a few hours of training in before we head to the tower. With the Chunin exam coming up in a couple of months, the Hokage is finally assigning us a new member. Really? Who is it? Asked Gabriella. I have no idea. We'll all find out together. Meanwhile, as Ino looked up, welcome to the... Hello, Ino, said Hinata. Oh, hello, Hinata. What brings you here? Hinata walked over as she pulled out the necklace with the ring on it. This is the ring that the fourth Hokage gave Kushina. Naruto gave it to me. We're engaged. Oh, I heard. Congratulations. The reason why I'm here, Ino, seeing that Naruto couldn't pick his choice. I want to see if the both of us can be friends. As Ino stepped from the counter, as she hugged Hinata, and then kissed her on the cheek. I'm sorry, she said. Naruto has always picked his choice already. It's always been you. I was just so stubborn, and I let that conflict my feelings, so we were never friends. Can you ever find a way to forgive me? Hinata smiled. I will, only if you forgive me. The way I was acting as well. As Ino nodded. Thank you, Ino, Hinata said. I also want to know that I'm very sorry about what happened to Sakura. I know that you two were close. Ino nodded. We weren't as close as we used to be, but I still can't believe that she's gone. I knew from the academy that Sasuke would only end up hurting her. I tried to warn her, but she wouldn't listen. I knew that he would end up hurting her, but I never thought that he would take it. I know. Would you like to go and get some lunch with me? Asked Hinata. Ino nodded. She really hasn't had a best friend since she and Sakura drifted apart. I like that. Let me see if Mom can cover the shop. Meanwhile, Kushina had a strong suspicion who the third member might be, as she had went over the files, as Shino seemed to be the perfect fit. He had an excellent record with many recommendations from his sensei Kurenai. He was battle-tested and experienced. And following the incident, he was the only member left of his squad. As Tsunade smiled at all of them, well, Kushina, I have to say, you did an amazing job with your team. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I'm very proud of the both of them. As Tsunade nodded, well, you certainly have a right to be, given that the both of them came to you with such circumstances. It's so amazing on your part how you turn them into an effective team. That's a very rare gift that few senseis have. Now, as you all know, the next Chunin exams are coming up, and you need a third member to compete. I have given a lot of thought who might fit, and I think I might have the perfect candidate. As she pressed the intercom button, Shizune, please send her in. Her? Kushina was surprised by that for two reasons. There was always fewer females than male, so it was mostly 2 males and 1 female. As she reviewed the files of all Leaf Genin candidates, there was no Kunoichi amongst them. As the door to the office opened, and in she came, the Hokage selection. As her eyes scanned the office and locked on the Kushina. I guess you're gonna be my... As she spoke a curse word, sensei, she said. As Haku and Gabriella gasped. Even Snavy just sighed and shook her head. What did you just say to me? Asked Kushina. As she was too shocked to be angry. Are you deaf or something? I said, as she cursed once more. Are you my sensei? Or are you so, as she cursed once more, deaf? Kushina was frozen. As she turned towards Snavy. Do you hate me? She asked. Snavy sighed, of course I don't hate you. Give me Shino then instead of this foul-mouthed little girl. Hey, I'm standing right here, she cursed another word again. Kushina sent her a dangerous look. Stop using that foul language in my presence. Oh yeah, said Teiwaya. She placed her hand on her hip. Why the goddamn hell should I? Because if you don't, I will wash your mouth out with soap. Teiwaya laughed at the threat. As Kushina's eyebrows started to twitch violently. Teiwaya, why don't you and your new teammates wait out in the hall? Yeah, whatever, Teiwaya said, as she went through the door. As Gabriella and Haku glanced at her sensei, as she nodded to the left. She immediately turned towards Snady. What the hell is this? Who the hell is that foul mouth and why are you giving her to me? She's a former stone ninja that Naruto speared during the invasion. She later came in and gave us some very valuable information for Amnesty and a place in the village. She's an outcast from another village, and you expect me to take care of her, said Kushina. You know, that could have described Haku as well. Haku was different, he was always respectful and good-natured. It's obvious this girl is nothing but trouble and a discipline problem. Snady smiled. Now you're describing Gabriella, she said. Oh, I get it. I was able to get through one problem child. I know you're expecting me to get through this one. Kushina, you must admit you have a gift for dealing with unusual situations. Teiwaya is a difficult case, but just like Gabriella and Haku, she has a great potential. Here, take a look at her file. As Kushina took it and looked over the file, she was a part of Orochimaru bodyguard detail, genjutsus and summoning, a long-range type then, with a close-range combat specialist in Gabriella and a mid-range in Haku. She just fit right in. Sits Navi. That is only if I can make her work with her teammates. Kushina didn't stop as she saw something on her folder. She has a curse seal? You expect me to accept a student with a curse seal just like Sasuke's? It has been suppressed. Ayateria. Apply a blocking seal. I guarantee she won't be able to use it, and she has been warned if she ever did. She'll be banished from Konoha. I still don't want her. She placed the file down. I'll take anyone else. Give me Chino, or Choji, or any other Genins. Choji's been transferred to Kurenat's squad with one other. I've already made the arrangements. Don't give me that crap, Snazzy. All it would take is your signature on a form. And I'm not even being picky here. Give me anyone else. No, if you refuse to accept her, I won't assign you anyone else. Which means your team won't be eligible for June exams. What? Why would you do that? And don't give me your usual garbage about your duty as a Hokage. The fate of the village is not at stake here. Fine, the truth is, Kushina, I can't think of any other Jonin senseis that might be able to handle her in time for June exams. Despite her attitude, she has great potential, and she could be a fine asset to the rest of the village. I think she could also make a good addition to the rest of your team. Just give it till after the exams. If you still don't want her, I'll reassign her and give her to someone else. But not until after the exams. Fine, I guess I have no choice, said Kushina as she headed towards the door. We still on for dinner tomorrow night. I would love to see little Alice. And so would Shizune. Fine, Kushina said as she stormed out. Being personal friends with the Hokage was surely annoying at some time. Meanwhile, Teiwaya was eyeing her two teammates. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad, as she sent Haku a wink that made him blush a bit. But Gabriella immediately stepped in front of him. Don't even think about it, bitch. He's mine. I am, said Haku. Well, I sort of thought, said Gabriella. Funny, he does look like he belongs to anyone. So what's your name, cutie? He gave her a polite bow. I am Momokai Haku, he said. Whoa, you're polite. I'm Teiwaya. They haven't let me out of my cage much, so I'm still raw. How about you show me around the village later? As Gabriella looked at him sternly. He was a bit worried as he never had a situation like this before, when Kushina came out of the office. Alright everyone, look like we're going to be a team. So let's get to training ground 25 and get to know each other. Oh, and one more thing, no more cursing. It's disrespectful to me and your teammate. This is how I talk, and I'm not changing for anyone, she said with curse words mixed between. As Haku and Gabriella took a few steps back. Your name is Teowaya, right? That's right, she said. Well, my name is Kushina Mikaze, and since I'm your sensei, I think I should explain a few things to you, so we understand each other. As your sensei, it's my responsibility to give you my protection and teach you all I can. In return, as my student, it's your responsibility to give me all your effort, at all times. Now when I tell you to stop cursing, that's a command, not a request. And I expect you to obey me. As of right now, I don't want to hear any more of the foul language coming from your mouth. As Teowaya placed her hands on her hips. Screw you. I don't give a damn if you're my sensei. I'm not changing how I talk, she said with curse words mixed between. I see, said Kushina. How would you like me to introduce you to a old Uzumaki clan tradition? You might want this to her, said Gabriella. Screw you both, said Teowaya. I will take that as a yes. Kushina lashed forward and grabbed her by the ear and started to pull her. Oh, what the hell are you doing, you crazy bitch? Let go of me, bitch. Let go of my hair, she cursed as she was pulled. As Shizune and the others watched, as Kushina dragged her in to the girl's room. What is going on out here? Asked Ned as she came out of her office. Sensei is introducing the potty mouth to a Uzumaki clan tradition. I see, said Nadi as she went back inside. From the woman's room, they heard Teowaya screaming as her voice then got gargled. What do you think Kushina-sama is doing? Haku asked. Sounds like she's drowning that bitch, said Gabriella. Haku looked worried. Should we help? No, I'm sure that Kushina can drown her without our help, said Gabriella. I mean, should we prevent Teowaya drowning? He asked. Hell no. The sounds of struggling continued for several minutes before they finally quiet down. The door opened up. As Kushina stepped outside, Gabriella noticed the front of her clothing was wet. Sensei, what happened? Oh, I washed her mouth out with soap. You're joking, said Gabriella. As the door swung open again, as a furious Teowaya came out. She looked like a drowned cat. Her hair was hanging down in clumps. Her throat was stark and Gabriella could see that the girl did not believe in bras. As Haku blushed, as he noticed as well, Teowaya coughed as a few soap bubbles came from her nose. Now, are you going to curse anymore? Teowaya clenched her fist, but she answered in a small voice. No. No what? Asked Kushina. Teowaya glared at her. No, you stupid bitch. Kushina grabbed her by the hair again and started to pull her back in the woman's room. Let's sit down. This might take a while, said Gabriella. Time skip. It was mid-afternoon as they stood in training ground 25. Even with the sun out, Teowaya was shivering. Damn, I'm freezing, she said. As Haku approached her, I have a jutsu that might help. Would you like me to use it? Yeah, sure, go ahead, she said. As she was having a hard time with her limited vocabulary, her mouth still tastes like soap. As Haku went through hand signs, water, condensation technique. As he touched her shoulder, the water condensed and flew out of her clothes in air, as she was bone dry now instead of being soaked. She gave him a big smile. That did the trick, she said. But I'm still kind of cold though as she stepped forward. You wanna help me warm up, she said. As Gabriella slipped between them. Try some jumping jacks. Alright, that's enough. If we're going to be a team, said Kushina, we need to learn how to get along with each other. Let's go ahead and formally introduce ourselves. I'll start. I am Namikaze Kushina, clan head of Namikaze. I like my son, my students, and my little daughter Alisa-chan. I dislike anything or anyone who threatens people I care about. My dream is to see my son become Hokage. As she looked at Haku, why don't you go next? I'm Momokai Haku. I like my pet bunny, Kushina-sama, Gabriella, Naruto, and my other friends. I dislike anyone who threatens those precious people. My dream is to grow strong enough to protect the people I care for. Teowaya grinned at him. You really got a pet rabbit? As he nodded, yes. I call him Mr. Fluffy. Teowaya laughed. You're a virgin, aren't you? Moving along, Gabriella, you go. Sure, sensei. I'm Uchiha Gabriella. I like my father, my sensei, my teammate Haku. I dislike foul-mouthed, little red-headed tramps. My dream is to eventually help my clan improve itself. Kushina nodded, and now our newest member. I am Yabaka Teowaya, formerly from the Sound Village and the Sound 4. I like fighting, music, and cute, innocent virgin boys. She sent Haku a wink. Oh, and I hate people who try to change who I am. My dream is to be a badass Kunoichi that everyone respects and fear. Well, that was informative. Teowaya, I would like to get a feel of your skill in taijutsu. I want you to spar with me. Come at me as hard as you can. Teowaya shook her head. I'm not much for the up-close stuff. I don't need carrying damn it. I don't even carry a kunai or shuriken, she said. As she pulled out her flute, this is the only weapon I need. Well, it looks like I need to give you some extra training in taijutsu and basic weapons then. From now on I expect you to carry a full set of kunai and shuriken on you at all times. Or what's the point, said Teiwaya. What was that? Teiwaya gulped as she could taste soap. I mean, what's the point, sensei? The point is you can't simply realizing your primary skills to keep you safe. You should always have a last line of defense, right? Teiwaya grinned. No enemy that has ever heard me play my flute lives afterwards. Really? Well, I truly look forward to see your skills tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to test your full ability. Are you sure you want to do that, sensei? I'm not good at holding back. If you test me using my flute, an accident might happen. Kushina smiled at the threat. I'll take the chances. We'll all meet at the pond tomorrow at noon. Everyone have a good breakfast. We're going to have a serious workout. Gabriella! As Haku called her Gabriella. Oh, Haku. I want to ask. What did you mean back then when you said I was yours? He asked her. Her cheeks became red. Oh, I just meant you were my teammate. And I didn't want her messing with you, you know? Was that all? He asked. Yes, she said. Oh, I see. So that means you wouldn't like to go on a date with me? He asked. She blinked in surprise. Are you asking me out on a date? He looked a bit nervous. Yes, I am. So, will you? She felt something squirming in her stomach. When do you want to go out? She asked. Well, I was wondering if we could get dinner. You mean right now? Well, yes, he said. If that is alright. As she smiled, you convinced me, you smooth talker. Just give me more warning next time, and I'll have a dress on instead of my ninja clothing. Haku smiled. Next time? She smiled and got them moving. As Teiwaya watched them go. He's not my type anyway. After I kick that bitch's ass tomorrow morning, I'm gonna make sure she eat a bar of soap herself. Time skip. As Kushina was in her kitchen sipping some tea, as she heard a poof in the other room. I'm in the kitchen, she called out. As she heard hopping, as something was thumping towards her. Oh, hey Kushina. Hello Gemikiche, said Kushina. Are the letters in the pouch? She asked. He nodded. They sure are. Naruto said that you give me 2 bags of chips for doing this. She nodded as she went over to the cabinet as she pulled out 2 bags of potato chips. Here you are. Listen, thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate it. As she handed the bags and took the pouch from him. No problem, happy to help, he said. As he opened one of the bags and started to eat. Before leaving, as Naruto spoke to Kamikichi and asked him to do some message carrier for him. As she opened the pouch and phone, 2 reports. One for the Hokage from Yamato and one for the Hokage from Jiraiya. They were low priority, so she would give them to her later. As she saw others, her uncle had write her as well. And one note was addressed to her, in there from Naruto, and the other 2 was a Hinata. She chuckled. I wonder if I should be jealous. Huh? Gemikichi said. Nothing, she said. As she went and put a package in the pouch, and put in a letter from Hinata and one from her herself. These are some cookies I made for all of them. You can have one since you have so many chips. So tell me, how is he doing? Gamikichi put the pouch around him. Oh, it's fine. It's turning into quite the road trip for him. As he made sure the pouch was secure. I'll see you next week, he said. She nodded. I'll see you next week, and again, thank you. No problem. As he moved away. As she sat down and opened a letter from her son. As soon as she finished this, she would go next door and give Hinata her letters. Nothing could make up for not having him here. But she took great comfort in knowing that he was thinking about all of them. Meanwhile, as Kurina stood in Training Ground 7, she didn't feel like she belonged here, as she had asked the Hokage to come out of the service. As she felt like she failed as a Jonin sensei. As she saw the signs with Sasuke, but he never did it beyond the line. As for Sakura, she saw that their relationship was only going to bring problems. But she warned the girl about the girl, never took it face value. But she still could have. She could have done more. But Snally refused to release her from her obligations. The Hokage told her no one was capable of seeing what was coming, and she could not be blamed for it. The Hokage still believed in her, so she would try and make up for her mistakes, and do her best for a new squad. As she and Shino had sat down and talked about the situation, as he also felt saddened by their deaths, because it went too far. But it was not like he blamed Kurina or anyone for anything. He was usually stoic that way. As their other member, Choji, and also a boy, a new boy named Noval. She would make sure that she do her best to make up for this team. Meanwhile, as Teiwaya was playing music, people never really used to like her music, as they never really appreciated it until she started to add chakra in their tones. As she stopped and put away the flute, that was beautiful, she heard a voice. As she jumped, what the hell is wrong with me? How could I let my guard down so quick? He snuck up on me, she thought to herself. What the hell do you want, she asked, a curse word inside. As he looked at her in surprise. I thought you had stopped cursing. Only when I'm around that bitch, she said. He frowned. Please do not speak of Kushina-sama that way. Why, are you going to tell her what I said and get me in trouble? No. But I do not wish you to speak of her with disrespect. I do not allow the people who are precious to me to get insulted. She glared at him. So you still haven't told me what the hell you want. I just want to listen to you play, he said. Is that supposed to be a joke? No one likes when I play, she said. I do. I'm sorry if I disturb you. I just want to say that I like your music. As he started to walk away, it will be noon soon. You don't want to be late. As she stood there, I watched him go, not sure what to think of him. As they made their way toward the training ground. As Kushina said that she needed to talk with the other two. As she saw how close Gabriela was to Haku. Wait, why the hell am I thinking about this? He just messed with me, just like the others. Liking me play, she thought to herself. As she remembered the first time she met Seikon, he pretended to like her music as well. She actually believed him for a whole month until he overheard her, making fun of her. As she could still remember the humiliation she felt at being so gullible. When Kushina finished her instructions, Gabriel and Haku leapt away. Where are those two going? You will see them again soon enough. Now before I test you, I want to ask you a couple things. You were on a team before this. How did you function with your behavior? Easy. We all had to do our jobs even if we didn't get along. If we didn't, we would get killed. And that's a rather damn good motivator, you know? And no one ever complained about your behavior or your language. I had a fat pig of a teammate named Jiruo who complained all the time. Lord Orochimaru did not care so long as the job got done. As for my behavior, I did what I was supposed to do. And so did they. We all did our jobs. We worked together when we had to. That's a very poor attitude to have in a team, said Kushina. Well, it worked for us. Well, until you ran into my son apparently. As Kushina noticed the girl shiver a bit. He never mentioned anything to me about fighting bodyguards of Orochimaru. What exactly happened? He found us threatening a civilian. As she decided to leave out the part about the apparent rape. Naruto slaughtered my team, but he decided to let me go. For me leaving here immediately. Why do you curse? It's just my way. But it bothered at least one of your teammates, so who cares? I'm not changing for anyone, said Teiwaya. We all change, we grow, we learn and we improve. Change is not a bad thing if it leads to improvement. If you're going to be a part of this squad, you have to change your behavior. If you're all alone, with no one to care about you, you can do as you please. But if you're going to be working with teammates, certain behavior won't be acceptable. Is that supposed to mean you and the others care about me? Teiwaya said. That's right. Bullshit, said Teiwaya. Oh, the hell are you kidding? You never wanted me on your team. You were arguing with the Hokage right in front of me, remember? I'm here because the Hokage made you date me. Don't try and act like you care about me, she said, cursing. Two things. Even if I didn't want you in this team, I will care and watch out for you, so long as you're on it. And two, when we get done with training today, I'm gonna wash your mouth once again out with soap. And that's a promise, and trust me, I never go back on my word. Teiwaya gulp. Now, it's time for your test, and for me to teach you an important lesson. Doing this test, I want you to act like you're a scout in enemy territory. Be ready for anything. I want you to use your full power, no holding back. But what if I accidentally kill you? Then you get a new sensei. The only rule is, you're not supposed to leave the training area. You are free to use any technique or weapon at your disposal. This exercise will last an hour until you're unconscious. I guess we're gonna be here an hour then. We'll see. Get moving. We begin in 2 minutes. As Kushina clicked her radio to send position, Teiwaya did not get her radio yet. As she jumped off, as she was more than eager to get revenge for what happened yesterday. Moments later, as she summoned, as the three Dokis came to life. As she brought her flute up, you might as well come out. As Kushina jumped out. So these are your summons. I have to say I never heard of a summons that use demons before. Lord Orochimaru gave me this ability with a cursed seal. She frowned. I'm not as powerful as I once was because of the seal being suppressed. If it wasn't suppressed, you wouldn't be on my team. Well, that would be a shame. You sure you want me to go all out? Yes, otherwise, lesson. Won't strike at home. Your funeral, bitch. As she started to play her flute, the Dokis leapt towards Kushina. There was a specific reason why Kushina always used Rain Ground 5. It had a lake and water underground. As she went through one sign, Water Geyser Technique. 3 geysers of water exploded from the earth. 2 struck demons while the 3rd geyser missed. The remaining one lashed out at her. His arm was covered in a metal blade. Kushina blocked it with a katana, but she was pushed back as she had to flip. The thing was strong. As the other 3 root themselves up, as they started to smash everything around, as Kushina landed in a tree, they rooted from the ground. Even though she struck them with shurikens, they didn't even affect them at all. as Kushina was forced to leap back again and again as Dokis came after her. I knew this bitch wasn't that tough, the way I thought. As she removed the flute from her mouth. Do you want to quit while she's alive? As her Dokis were closing around Kushina, closed off every way of escape for her. Teiwaya, you've already lost, Kushina called out. Teiwaya was about to say something but the limb shake that she was on. As she turned. Hey bitch, she said. As Gabriella punched her right in the mouth, that sent her sailing off the tree branch that she was on. As she was caught before she fell unconscious. Time skip. This is rather disturbing. Really? I find it entertaining, said Gabriella. As they were standing by the lake, as Kushina was shoving Teiwaya head into the water to wash out the soap bubbles. After a while, Kushina released her here, as Teiwaya crawled away as fast as possible. Now then, are you gonna curse again? No, not around you I'm not. Sensei. That will do for now, as your leader. I'll give you a couple of lessons over the months, so you better pay attention. Now as you see, a single individual is always put off guard by a well-placed unit. I thought you were fighting me alone, said Teiwaya. I never said that. I told you to act like a scout in enemy territory, so you could be attacked by other people. If it was just you, I would have killed you, said Teiwaya. No, you wouldn't have. I could have escaped with a substitution in time, said Kushina. I could have dealt with you myself easily, but I wanted to drive home the main lesson. It's always better to be a part of a team. I want you to also see that your powers are no guarantee of having to fight someone else in. Another lesson is, if you keep on swearing in front of me, I will wash out your mouth every single time. I promise you I won't run out of patience or soap. I really hate you, said Teiwaya. That's fine for now, maybe that will change eventually. Don't count on it, she said. Tell me, is this a real clan tradition or did you make it up? Well, it is. I can remember my mother using another girl who thought that cursing would make her look more mature. Did it work? You tell me. You? That's right, said Kushina. As Teiwaya imagined Kushina very small, and her mouth being washed out by soap, as it made her giggle. So I guess you were a screw up as a kid. You might say that, though I only need to be punished once for the lesson to be learned. You're at 3 and counting. Now, get up, we have a lot more training to do today. Then after training, you'll be having dinner at my home. I will? Time skip, she was sitting at the dinner table. Kushina, Haku, a little girl named Elsa, and the Hokage and her assistant. She was feeling self-conscious, and it wasn't because the Hokage was sitting 5 feet away from her. Doesn't Teiwaya-chan look pretty? Elsa said happily. She certainly does, Elsa-chan, said the Hokage. As Teiwaya watched the three of them giggle, as Haku turned his head in embarrassment for her. He had been a victim of Elsa's hairstyle before already. Kushina invited her dinner to better know her. Yeah, right, it was more like more punishment. This little girl placed her sights on her. The girl had dragged her to her room and started to do her hair. Now she was sitting at the table, with her hair tied up in little ribbons and braided. As she could have fled, but she didn't want to do that to the poor little girl. Well, at least the worst is over, she thought to herself. Elsa then looked over to Kushina. Mom, can I ask you something? What is it, honey? What does that F word mean what Teiwaya always say? Everyone froze. What? Said Kushina. In a quick flash, Kushina grabbed Teiwaya by the hair and pulled her away. What's going on? Elsa asked, as Snally placed her hands over Elsa's ears, as Teiwaya started to curse as he was dragged to the bathroom. As once again her mouth was washed out with soap. As she was leaving the mansion a little while after that. I should just leave already. It's not like Hunter Ninja will be coming after me, or Orochimaru is dead. Teiwaya, please wait. As she saw Haku following her, she made sure Kushina was nowhere in sight as she cursed. What the hell do you want? He asked. I'm sorry for what happened, he said. But why did you curse in front of Elsa? I said it one time. It was when she showed me what my hair looked like. I wasn't even planning on it, it just slipped out. Even so, you shouldn't have said it. Screw you, you virgin, she said. She walked off. As Haku started to walk beside her, as she jumped on the rooftops, but he followed behind her same way. As she came to a stop on a rooftop near her apartment. Why the hell are you following me? She said. What's wrong with you? I just want to let you know. It's because she cares. What the hell that's supposed to mean? Kushina-sama, everything she's doing it to help you. She cares and wants you to change for the better. She cares about me? Huh. She'll probably just get off on humiliating me. She's just a bitch. Do not call her that. I'll call her whatever I want to. No, you will not. You will not disrespect her, especially when she's trying to aid you. Oh yeah? What will you do about it, huh? Send Mon appear in both of his hands, inflict pain on you. I do not wish to do that. But if you keep on insulting her, I will. Tell you why I laughed. Oh, the big bad bunny boy is gonna hurt me, she said. Don't make me laugh. It takes balls to do something like that. I've done far worse. Like what? Kill someone? Yes, I have killed, he said. As she slowly died down with the laughter. You really mean it? She said. I want to come and tell you that Kushina-sama care about you because you had the same eyes that I had. Before Zabuza-sama saved me, your eyes are filled with loneliness and despair. It was in your music as well. That is why I was drawn towards it. You don't know me, she said. There's no way a little version like you could understand, she said. I have not always lived here, Kushina-sama. You do not know me either, Tiewe. But I do know the pain of not wanted by anyone and being alone. As he then turned, I will see you tomorrow for training. Good night. Haku. Yes, he said. She looked down, feeling stupid for what she was about to say. My apartment is near here. I don't have tea, but I can offer you a sandwich. He could see that this was hard for her, as he decided to make it a bit easier. I will like that, Tiewe, he said. Come on then, she said. It's a nice apartment, he said, as they made their way inside. Having someone here now, it made her feel self-conscious about the mess. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to have anyone over. As she picked up the clothes, why the hell am I apologizing? It's my place. But she tossed him in their bedroom. Would you like a sandwich? I don't have anything else to drink right now but water. I'm fine, thank you, he said. Would you like to sit down? As he nodded and sat down on the couch, as she sat down next to him. Why do you swear so much? He asked. Are you here to tell me how to talk as well? Because if you... I'm sorry, he said, as he stopped her. I did not mean to offend you. Truthfully, I was only curious why you talk so. I have never heard anyone else speak in a similar matter. Why are you always so polite? She asked. I have never heard anyone talk that way before. I don't know. It was how I was raised. My parents are kind people, and they taught me how to be polite to others, always. When I had to leave them, I was already in the habit of speaking the way I do. Zabuza-sama encouraged me to speak in a polite manner, to deceive my opponents. Your parents forced you to leave? She asked. In a manner of speaking. What of your parents? He asked. Oh, my mother was a drunken whore, who always hated me. My father was a random sailor she slept with. She had no clue which one. I'm very sorry, he said. Don't feel sorry for me, I hate that. It happened, I dealt with it. And I don't go around looking for some pity. I'm still sorry if you never knew a parent's love, he said. Normally she would be screaming at someone who said that to her, but he was so just polite and kind. Does that mean your parents loved you? She asked. Yes, for a time. We were happy, he said. What changed? As he told her about his story. And what happened with the bloodline civil war and the purge. Oh, she said when he was finished. And I thought my life was messed up. If I may ask, did he run away as well? She hesitated, but she decided she would tell him the truth. No, she ran away from me. Some merchant said he was in love with her, and she left me when I was 5 years old. No goodbye, no note. No, I'm sorry for messing up your entire life. I had no other family, so I was stuck in an orphanage. The other kids knew my story, and they never let me forget it, she said as she chuckled without any humor. Then Shuta came. He was a recruit for Orochimaru. He went through all the orphanage in the Fire Nation, looking for recruits for Orochimaru. He spotted me, and could tell I had the potential to mold chakra. Do you know how much a human life is worth? She asked. Usually between 10,000 and 50,000 Ryu. I once knew a bridge builder whose life was worth 10 million. Huh. Well, my life was worth a whole 200 Ryu. That is how much he paid the orphanage manager to take me. No question asked. And that's how you were recruited to the Stone Village? He asked. Yeah, that's right. Now tell me more of your story, she said. As Haku told her about his life, between running away, being on his own, being there, and what he went through before finding and meeting Zabuza-sama. After they were finished, he looked at the clock. It is past 1 in the morning. I apologize for keeping you up so late. When we're meeting tomorrow morning, he said. I don't mind. I enjoy talking with you. Can we do it again sometime? Yeah, I would like that. Friends should get to know each other. So, we're friends now? Are we not? Yeah, I guess we are, she said. Oh, Haku, yes? Do you consider Gabrielle as a friend as well? Or is she more than that to you? He smiled. She's my girlfriend. Shit, she cursed in her mind. Oh, I see, she said. He came forward and held her hand. Please, do not be sad. Gabrielle being my girlfriend doesn't mean I don't want to be close to you as well. As a friend, she said. He looked worried. Is something wrong with that, he asked. No, of course not. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? As he left her apartment. Despite reminding herself not get her hopes up that he was like the others, but she just couldn't find herself to see him like Seikon or others. And she was hoping to see him tomorrow for some reason. When he came back home to the mansion. Hello, Haku. Oh, Kushina-sama. I apologize for waking you, he said. It's alright. I was waiting for you. Even though you're technically an adult. I would like to know where you have been, she asked. Oh, I was with Teiwaya, trying to create a bond with her. She raised her eyebrow. You were with Teiwaya all this time? He nodded. And you were just talking, she asked. Of course. What else would we be doing? He asked. Oh, I'm not answering that, she thought to herself. Haku, what about Gabriella? Gabriella? What does she have to do with this, he asked. I'm sure she will want me to spend time with Teiwaya as well. I become friends with her. Really? You think she would be happy to know that you are alone with her? Till 1 in the morning. Why wouldn't she? I could tell you, but it'll probably take the rest of the night. Go ahead and go to bed. I'll explain to you over breakfast tomorrow. The next morning, having breakfast with her father. Dad, would it be okay if I invite someone over for dinner tonight? Who do you have in mind, honey? She muttered something. What was that? Oh, my teammate Haku. As he grinned. It's not like that, she said quickly. Not like what, honey? He asked. Like it's a big deal, and it isn't. He and I has been teammates for a while now, and I feel like it's just right that I invite him over. Isn't he the boy that you had dinner with the other night? Yeah, that's him, Dad. You told me about his Genkai. It might make a valuable addition to the family bloodline, he said. She turned red as a tomato. Dad, we had only one date. He would not be making any addition to our bloodline, she said. Well, not yet, she thought. I'm just saying that he might make a good choice for you, someday. Bring him to dinner, by all means. She frowned. No, I'm not so sure I want to, she said. Time skip. The practice went well, as Kushina had given them some basic techniques, team training exercise, sword tactics for Gabriella, and taijutsu for Teiwaya. As she kept a subtle eye on them, both girls eyed Haku and gave him smiles. They also sent each other hostile looks, but the tension did not turn into anything great and it remained suppressed for now. As Teiwaya showed an effort though, to not get on anyone's nerves that much, as she hasn't cursed a single time. This would be a very interesting group try and mold together. Time skip. A year and a half had passed. As clashing could be heard. Something was hitting wood. Wood was hitting together. Every goddamn morning, a man says he threw the blanket off him as he crawled to the tent flap and opened it. Could you guys knock it off, he said. As two people on the lake fighting with wooden blades. Huh? One of them said, looking his way. The other took advantage and knocked him inside the head as he dropped to the water. Hey, Naruto says he got to his feet. No fear. I was distracted. Saishi shook his head. There are no timeouts in real combat, he said. If this was real, you'd be dead right now. If this was real, I would have made 100 clones, said Naruto. Well, I hate to tell you this, Naruto, but at some point, you might have to depend on actual skills than just numbers. As Naruto's eye twitched, as Saishi laughed, as Naruto launched a fresh attack. Another day of teaching a kid to be the best. Kami, help me, he said. As Yamato approached Jiraiya after a while, with tea and aspirin. You alright, he asked. Jiraiya took the aspirin and swallowed with some tea. You know, this wasn't what I had in mind. Thanks, he said. Oh, when I originally wanted Naruto to come with me, I was going to give him plenty of instructions, but I was going to work around my schedule. As Yamato laughed a bit. Translation. You were still planning on many late nights and late morning. Hey, that's who I've always operated since I started work on my own. Well, that's the thing, Yamato says. Took a sip of his tea. You're not on your own right now. Jiraiya shook his head. This would go much better if it was just me and a kid. Do you mean for you or for him? You have to admit, Naruto has been learning quite a lot. And not just from you, said Yamato. Jiraiya grunted. It's true. Saishi and Yamato has been teaching Naruto when Jiraiya was off on other activities. The two of them were supposed to be bodyguards, but they had taken upon themselves to be trainers as well. Every single morning, Naruto and Saishi practiced blade. The man was a fifth level master and he wanted to make Naruto one as well. When they weren't practicing, he told Naruto stories about Kushina, as Kushina's nickname used to be Kuki, as he can't wait to see her again and call her that. And when there was downtime, they fished together. Yamato had Mokiton and he could not teach Naruto those. What he could teach was the interest in jutsus and a dozen different taijutsus and weapon fighting that he knew. He also provided Naruto a sparring partner whenever he wanted to work on taijutsu. Between two of them, he kept busy constantly. As a kid, absolutely loved it with his interest to learn and his desire. He was always wanting more. Naruto really was learning more than he had if there was just the two of them, but there were some drawbacks. I would like to sleep in late once in a while, and it's annoying the way Sasha watched me when I started to tell a few stories. I think the main reason Kushina asked him to come with us was to protect Naruto morals, said Yamato. Hey, he's growing up, the kid needs to learn a few things. True, but some of the things you want to teach him, he doesn't need to learn yet, said Saisho. Hey, the kid is lucky to have such an experienced teacher in that era. With my luck, he can become a huge pervert like you, Saisho said, interrupting him. His mother and I both think that he can do without your guidance in that area. Some people have no appreciation for the value of education, said Jiraiya. I'm going back to my cabin, said Yamato, as he went back to his cabin, which he created with his Mokitan. Alright, said Jiraiya, I'm up. We might as well have breakfast and get an early start for the next village. While they were camping and away from normal civilization, they didn't use code names or disguises, as they all knew there were people out there searching for Naruto. Hey, what's your breakfast, said Naruto? I'm starved. He had grown a few inches, otherwise he had not changed, except for the scar on his forehead. We have some rice and fish with hot tea. As Naruto did not complain, he has gotten used to fish. But guys, in the end of this episode right here, if you want to see the next part, this is what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on bell notifications they posted. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Given a Gift that will change everything, and enjoy that, guys. I post on this channel and over on Anime King 2. I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had a New Dream that will change everything, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and support. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.